Good morning. So this video is more for, well, it's generally for everyone, more for the gamers and high-end desktops, but more, you could do this in general. You should be really cleaning out your computers on the inside like twice a year. And I'm going to bring this up because sometimes we'll get gaming computers in here and they start randomly shutting down or locking up and freezing in the middle of a game, and it just really puts the gamer in distraught because they have stats and scores and rankings, and those things are important to that person. And so when your computer starts acting up, a lot of the times it's a combination of things that goes on, but most of the time we find that it's just blowing out the computer, disassembling it sometimes to clean the parts, but usually fixing the cooling system resolves a lot of issues. And a lot of people don't know that you have to open them up and clean them usually every once or twice a year. Really depends upon your use. If you're just an average user, probably once a year is fine. So one of the things I'm going to tell you is don't use canned air. Let me show you this. This is absolutely the worst thing you can do to a computer. And I found some other examples here. Yeah, all of this, don't do these, especially on the inside of a computer. Too many times when a computer starts acting up, people will go, oh, well, I got to clean it out. That's what it is. And they'll have canned air. They'll turn off their computer, open up the side, and then start blasting the inside. Canned air is compressed, and when it comes out the nozzle, it sprays liquid, and it is cold, like really cold. Spray it on your hand. You'll feel it. Your processors and motherboards are generally body temperature or hotter, depending upon what you've been doing before you shut it off to clean it out. And so if your processor or the area around your processor runs at about 160, 170 degrees, yes, that's warm enough to cook an egg. Slow, but it can do it. The worst thing you want to do is put something that's around 40 degrees on it and wet. You'll fracture your motherboard, you'll ruin your processor, so on and so forth. So we tell people, don't use canned air. Get a little compressor. Yeah, that's kind of expensive, but it'll save you in the long run. Over the holidays, one of my clients got me one of these. This was cool. I thought this is a little air duster. It's USB powered. That's pretty slick, isn't it? If you can't see it. Yeah, it's USB powered. These are good for cleaning off your keyboards and the bottom of your mouse and so on and so forth. But yeah, that was nice. But yeah, don't use canned air. And the other thing is, for God's sakes, don't use an air compressor. Simply because, unless you can dial that pressure back to like around 20 psi at most, 35 at most. And even then, that might be pushing it a little bit hard, because we've seen where people have they've got these types of cooling systems on their CPU processor, which is what most everyone has. Now, gamers generally have the liquid cooling systems, but the problem is still the same. You put too much air pressure on those fins or on those fan blades, they will break, and then now you have to replace it. And if you do that, these are relatively inexpensive. You see, they're like 15, 20 bucks, $40. But these liquid cooling systems, yeah, these are on the low end at $50 and $60. We have seen them as much as almost $200 for a liquid cooling system. If you're a high-end gamer and you had your gaming system custom built, this is probably what you've got. And your radiators are on the top of your computer. Again, don't use canned air. Don't use compressed air from an air compressor. Get a regular air duster. They do make them bigger than this. This is good, like I said, for your keyboards. But yeah, you can get, what was that one here? Get something like this. And this way, because it doesn't push out as much air to break the fins or the fan blades, but would still do the job. And even then, oftentimes when we tear a computer apart and we have to clean it, we have to get the, and you could get these at craft stores, pipe cleaners. Those are the wires with the fuzzies on them, and you have to run them down your CPU grill, the heatsink. down into this area to clean that out, because they get so compacted with dirt and dust that the only way to get them out is to take the fan off and physically clean them. So yeah, twice a year you should be really blowing out your computers, just because dirt, dust is in the air. If you're a smoker, definitely twice a year. If you are using wood to heat your house, we have one client, we haven't seen him in a couple of years now, but we had one client who they use firewood to heat their house. And we got there for a computer problem, and I opened up the side of the case and looked at it. It was like, how's this thing even run? Because all the soot and smoke from the fireplace had been sucked into the computer. So yeah, definitely clean your computers once or twice a year. If you don't want to do it, you can bring it to us. We'll do it for you. And yeah, it's just part of your maintenance of a computer. So if you found this useful, like, share, and subscribe. If you got a YouTube account or a Google account, like I said, the thumbs up and thumbs down are below the video and a little bit to the right there. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. There's the subscribe button there, so you can subscribe to the channel and get notices every time a YouTube video drops, which is every day at around about 7 o'clock in the morning. There's a bell, so you can get a notification if you want that. If you don't have these, notice if you do have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account, if you didn't know that. But if you don't have a Gmail account, or you don't have a Google or YouTube account, you can find us over on Facebook, and there's our address. Just search for us up in the bar up here, and you'll find us relatively quickly. So there is a donation link in the video description below. Just below the video, you'll see a button that says see more. You see more, it gives you all the video description, and there's a whole bunch of other links in there, including donate, because YouTube doesn't pay me for this yet. Got to get those numbers up. Working on it slowly. Takes time. But yeah, if you want to donate to the cause, there's a link there. It's just $5. And like I said, hopefully that can give you some insight on general maintenance of a computer. So just one of the many things you have to do if you own one of these things. Laptops, again, they should be cleaned out too. Just best to bring those to us, because then you have to, unless you're knowledgeable about your laptop, because you do have to take all the screws out and tear the case apart and get to the fan, and because it's such more compact, getting to those for the average person is a little complicated. So usually laptops, just bring those to us. We'll clean those out for you. It's a part of the maintenance if we got to tear apart your computer. So we'll take that care of that. But like I said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Find us on Facebook. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later.